I'm in the South Wedge neighborhood of Rochester, an area first developed by Erie Canal workers in the 1820s. The neighborhood fell on hard times in the 70s, but over the last 10 years, it's undergone a rapid revitalization. Now it's a hip neighborhood known for its vibrant, diverse community. And where there's community revitalization, you'll usually find a craft brewery. Today, I'm at Swiftwater Brewing on Mount Hope Avenue. The name Swiftwater is a reference to the whitewater kayaking passion that commanded founder Andy Cook's attention prior to his brewing career. But once Andy discovered the art of making beer, he was ready to test the waters of business ownership in the town he calls home.
I've lived in Rochester for the last 15 years, and I really love the city. And I really felt that Rochester needed not just one more brewery, but maybe like a dozen more breweries. So I really wanted to be part of that.
Andy's unique upbringing is responsible for the emphasis Swiftwater places on sourcing local, fresh ingredients for their beers.
I grew up on a dairy farm, and it's just incredibly hard work. I have immense respect for farmers. So anything that we can source locally, we do. We have a little garden in our backyard, and my mom has a greenhouse, and she grows quite a bit of the ingredients that we serve at Swiftwater. We use whatever New York State hops we can get. Our malt is grown on my parents' dairy farm, which is really cool, and then we ship it to Pioneer Malting in Rochester, and then they malt it and send it back to us. So from ground to glass, if you have a beer at Swiftwater, the malt has traveled under 100 miles. And the other really cool part of that is that we have control over the process all the way from the seed. And it really lets us give feedback directly to the people who can make a difference in our product.
Swiftwater attributes its rapid success to the support it receives from family, friends, and the community. In fact, many of these folks helped Andy construct the brewery itself. By his side since the beginning has been friend and co-owner Chris Perry. Chris started out tending the bar and managing the staff at Swiftwater, and has become an accomplished brewer along the way. For someone who is not familiar with Swiftwater, what sets the brewery apart?
I think that we have sort of a farm-to-table type of feel, both for the beverage aspect and for the food as well. Even though it's a small menu as far as food is concerned, it is very sophisticated and very flavorful, very healthy, and so I think that draws a lot of attention to us. It's also a great neighborhood staple, and so we get a lot of neighborhood traffic. We get everything from working professionals to families to college kids. I think we just offer something that's very inviting and encourages people from all walks of life to come and give it a try.
I gave myself a little tour of the South Wedge, and it looks very distinct. It feels very different from the rest of Rochester, and it seems like a really cool neighborhood. Yeah,
we have a lot of young people, a lot of people who have been here in the neighborhood for 50 years. So we have, I think, a rare opportunity here that we have a very close-knit community that's very interested in making that community better. So we have a lot of shops. There's a great tea leaf bar right on South Avenue. There are a lot of great places to eat, yoga studios, wine stores.
A lot of bars carrying Swiftwater?
In the neighborhood, they better be.
Being an accessible gathering place is a critical mission for Swiftwater. The founders were inspired by a concept in community building called the Third Place, and felt it was vital to bring this type of neutral public space to the South Wedge.
That concept of the third place is that it's not your work and not your home. It's that communal ground where you can come and really establish culture. I really think this next wave of craft beer culture is really more about flavor and experience. And so I really wanted to build a place where people could come and talk and exchange ideas, but then also connect with their neighbors as well.
Talking with some of the people who spend time at Swiftwater, it's clear they understand what the brewery is trying to achieve, and they're all in for the experience.
There's something different for me about going to a place, eating a good company. Breweries are completely different than bars to me. Like, the vibe is different. People are more engaged with each other, and I think that's why I really like that social side of it.
The atmosphere here is very open. I think a lot of people who are getting into craft beer think it's this cliquey niche, but whether you've been coming here for years or this is your first time trying craft beer, they definitely respect that and treat you with respect. It's awesome.
We're a big fan of craft beers. We try to hit up all the different places every month. Honestly, I like Swiftwater just because they have so many options. And reason they change it up so often.
I have a coffee flavored beer, a lime one that's just called beer, and then a blonde one. So they're all really delicious and they all have their own unique flavor.
Creating a welcoming atmosphere certainly draws a crowd, but what keeps customers coming back to Swiftwater is their high-quality beer and spirit of experimentation. So before I left, I asked brewer bartender Chris to walk me through some of their favorite styles.
So we have this coffee-infused Belgian triple here, which is high ABV, Belgian style.
Yes, sir.
And you've somehow gotten coffee in there.
Yes, sir.
And it's not a dark beer.
It is not a dark beer, no.
Let's take a look at
It's
this.
very light in complexion, which normally surprises a lot of people. But again, you have that unmistakable coffee aroma and taste.
Oh, that is nice. I don't get any of that alcohol heat at all. What percentage is this?
7.9%.
Wow.
So the coffee will go a long way towards masking that.
So you're known for your IPAs, so I would love to try one here.
Sure.
Yeah.
So right up front here we have our flagship IPA. This was the 9th recipe that we tried. This is the one that sort of caught fire with our customer base the most.
Tell me what's in this one.
So this is just New York State base malt. It's New York State oats and New York State Munich. The hop profile is Mosaic, Simcoe, and Cascade.
And this smells so good. I mean, there's big melon and definitely juicy dank hops coming out of that like crazy.
That's what we were going for, and the Mosaic gives you sort of that sharp, kind of really citrusy or citrus rind kind of aroma and flavor, but the Simcoe and Cascade will sort of balance that out a little bit.
That is very, very good. Well, thank you so much for your time here today. It's been great to learn about the brewery and to taste the beer.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Matt. I had a blast doing it.
Cool.